Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will see the Norton's theorem. Okay. Now this Norton's theorem is actually used to find out the current in the load resistance or the load impedance. Okay. So first we will see the basic idea of any network, and then we will see the statement of Norton's theorem, and to understand more about that we will solve one numerical based on Norton's theorem. Fine. So if you see that I have made one network here, in that network you can see that I have made the two diagrams here. One I have called is a part A, another is called as a part B. So what any linear network can be imagined to be divided into following two parts. Okay. So what the part A is actually called as the active network. What the part A is called as the active network. Active network means it has the energy sources. We have studied the energy sources. It consists of the voltage source, or it will consist of the current source. Fine. And with the impedance. Okay. So as now we have studied with the AC circuit, so instead of resistance I will say it is a impedance. So this network, the first part, is actually called as the active network. Okay. So what is the active network? The network which consists of energy sources and impedance. Now similarly you can see that I have made here part B. Part B is called as the passive network. Now what is mean by passive network? The network which consists of passive elements. Okay. And this is consist of the load impedance ZL. Okay. So I can say this is my source side. Okay. And this will be my load side. Right? So this impedance I will call as ZL, which is the load impedance. So the part B is only consist of the passive network, or we can say that load impedance. Okay. So I have made the symbol of this. This is the symbol of impedance. Okay. Simple box. Okay. So if any electrical network is that, the electrical network is consist in this part. Okay. Part A is an active network and part B is a passive network. Okay. Now the circuit is very complicated. Okay. And if our aim is to find out what is the current through this, what is that current? IL is called as the load current. Okay. That is the current flowing through that load. So that can be find out with the help of this Norton theorem. So what the Norton theorem says that, the Norton theorem says that according to the Norton's theorem, the part A of a network. What is a part A? Part A is an active network with the energy sources and impedance can be replaced by a single current source. Can be replaced by a single current source IN in parallel or shunt with the impedance. Okay. So you can see that this complete diagram, I will assume that. So this is the part A diagram. Okay. This is the part A. So this part A can be replaced by the current source. You can see that I will say this is the current source whose value I have written is IN in parallel with the impedance ZN. Okay. So this is actually, this is your part A. Okay. So according to the Norton's theorem, that part A can be replaced by this single current source whose value I have written IN in parallel with the load impedance ZN. So actually this is your part A. And part B is as it is. You can see that this is your part B. What is the part B is consist of? Part B is only consist of the load impedance ZL, and this is the amount of current flowing through that load impedance, that is IL. So we have seen that here this is a part A and this is the part B. So according to the Norton's theorem, part A can be replaced with the single current source IN. That IN is actually called as Norton equivalent current source. Okay, which is called as Norton equivalent current source in parallel with the impedance ZN. What is the value of that ZN? Is called as the Norton's equivalent impedance. Okay, so you can replace the complete network just by this single circuit. That single circuit is called as Norton's equivalent circuit, and the part B is actually same, that is the load impedance. So this is a basic statement of the Norton's theorem. So according to the Norton's theorem, the any linear bilateral circuit can be replaced by its single current source in parallel with the impedance at the load terminal. So your load terminal is same, right? Now, when we have to apply the Norton's theorem to any numerical, there are certain steps that we have to understand. Fine. So I have written the next is the procedure, or we can say that the steps which is involved to solve any numerical. Fine. So what is the first step? The first step is always determine the value of IN. Now what is IN? IN is the value of that current source. So how you get that value? Simply short circuit the load terminal. Okay. And mark IN there, and by using mesh analysis method you can find out this answer. That we will see when we solve a numerical. So if this is your load terminal, okay, so short circuit that load terminal, mark value of IN and find out the values of I. Now second step here is that determine value of Zn. What is the second step? Determine value of Zn. Now what is Zn? Zn is actually the impedance of the network seen from the load terminal with all the independent energy sources are deactivated or replaced by their internal resistance. Okay. So when you have to calculate the values of Zn, what you have to do? We have to replace the voltage source by short circuit, as I have told you that voltage source by short circuit, and if it is a current source, then replace that current source by open circuit. By doing this, you are deactivating that independent energy source, and then by simple series and parallel connection you can find out the value of Z. That we will see in the numerical. Now what is the third step? The third step is that you have to draw the Norton's equivalent network. Okay, I have drawn, this is the Norton's equivalent network. What is the Norton's equivalent network? A current source in parallel with the load impedance, in parallel with the impedance Zn, that is called as Norton's equivalent circuit. So Norton's equivalent circuit is consist of IN and Zn, and both are connected in parallel. Now the last step, what is our aim in this Norton's theorem? To find out the load current. You can see that our aim is to find out this load current. So if I consider here that this current is IN here. Okay, you can see that IN, this is the total current. What happened at this point? The current is divided into two parts. One current will go through this, okay, and another current will go through this. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find out this value of current IL. Okay, so that current IL can be find out by formula, and for that I will use the current division formula. So according to the current division formula, your IL is equal to total current. What is the value of total current? Total current is IN multiplied by the opposite side of resistance or impedance from where you are calculating the current. So you are calculating the current through ZL. What is the opposite side impedance? Zn. So multiplied by Zn divided by sum of the parallel resistance or parallel impedance. So or the current be divided into that impedance. So this total current is divided into these two impedance, and these two impedance are in parallel. So what will be the formula? Formula is Zn plus Zn. Okay. So by using this formula, you can easily calculate the load current flowing through any electrical circuit. So what is the formula? Formula of the load current is IN, that is the Norton currents, multiplied by Zn, that is the Norton impedance, divided by Zn plus ZL, where ZL is called as the load impedance. Fine. So just by following this four step, you can find out the load current of any electric circuit. Fine. So these are the basic idea of Norton's theorem. Okay. Uh, so to understand about the Norton's theorem, we will solve one numerical based on that. Okay. So they have given this type of numerical. Okay. What they have asked, determine the current flowing through 10 ohm resistor by using the Norton's theorem. Okay, and they have given this AB terminal. You can see that the circuit is consist of all the resistance. Okay, so we have studied some steps how to solve the numerical of Norton's theorem. So first step is determination of I. Okay, so I will start with the question and I will follow the step. Okay, so the first step here is determination of IN. So this is the first step when we have to solve the numerical of Norton's theorem. Now what the first step says that short circuit the load terminal and mark current IN there. Okay. So first you should be able to find out which is the load terminal. Okay. So the load terminal is that terminal where the current is asked. Okay. So here the current we have asked through the 10 ohm resistance. So definitely this point I have given AB is a load terminal. So what we have to do? Short circuit that load terminal. Okay. So when we have to short circuit that terminal, okay. So for that I will draw this diagram so that it will be cleared. First I will draw the rest of the circuit. So this is your A terminal and this is your B terminal. So this is plus minus 12 volt. This will be 8. This will be 2. This will be 5. This will be plus minus 20. Fine. Now, according to that Norton's theorem, when we have to calculate the IN, you have to short circuit the load terminal. Okay. So this is your load terminal AB. So short circuit that. So you just simply put one line there. So that is a short circuit. Fine. So this represent short circuit and mark the current there. What is the value of the current? Here is IN. And I assume that that current is flow from point A to B. Okay. So what we have done in the first step, short circuit the load terminal and mark IN. And then by using which method? Mesh analysis, calculate the values of current IN. Okay. That we have solved so many times. Okay. So apply the mesh analysis. So if you observe that there we are two mesh. So this is the mesh 1. This is the mesh 2. So current here is I1 and current here is I2. Fine. So what is your first step? Let I1 and I2 be the mesh currents. Fine. We have seen this so many times. So size of matrices will be here 2 by 2 because there are only two mesh. Okay. So this is impedance matrix. Then here we have a current matrix I1, I2 and here we have the voltage matrix. Okay. So we will note down the Z matrix. So as there are two mesh, so this is the first, this will be the second mesh, first mesh, second mesh. So this element is the sum of element present in mesh 1. So it is how much? 5 plus 2. Fine. This one is the element which is common to 1 and 2. So it is 2. So it is minus 2. This is again minus 2. And here it is the sum of element present in mesh 2. So it is 2 plus 8. Fine. Now you see the voltage here. The voltage here is in the first mesh when you follow this direction, negative will become positive. So voltage rise is that. So it is plus 20. In the second mesh there is again voltage. Okay. So when you see the voltage here, okay, that voltage here is again if you follow the direction, it is positive. So it is positive 12. Fine. So rearrange that. When you rearrange, it will be 7 minus 2 minus 2 10. This will be I1 I2. 1 minute I have to check the. Okay, okay, sorry, it is plus minus. Okay, so I have made one mistake here. It is plus minus, fine. So when you follow this direction, positive will become negative, so this is minus 12. Okay, this is minus 12. This is equal to 20 and minus 12, fine. Now it is correct, fine. Now what is our aim? Our aim is to find out the IN, but if you see the network, your IN is same as I2. So just by apply the Cramer's rule and find out the values of I2. So by Cramer's rule, what is the value of I2? Your I2 is come out to be delta 2 upon delta. Fine. Your delta 2 upon delta. So how you write the delta 2? Just replace the voltage matrix by the second column of the impedance matrix. So this is 7 minus 2, 20 minus 12. Fine. Divided by 7 minus 2 minus 2, 10. Now solve this. So when you solve, it is 7 into minus 12, fine, minus of 20 into minus 2 divided by 7 into 10 minus minus 2 into minus 2, right? Now get this value of I2. Okay, so you have to solve this determinant. When I have solved this determinant, I have got the answer minus 0.667 ampere. Fine. So this is the value of I2. But we need values of IN. And if you see the network, your IN is same as I2. You can see that the direction of the current are same. So we write the next statement. From network, your IN is equal to I2. What is the value of IN? Your IN is minus 0.667 ampere. Right? So this is the value of the Norton's current source. Okay. You can see that you get the value here negative. Negative means says that here we have assumed that current is flowing from A to B, but actually the current is flowing from B to A. Means the current are flowing in opposite direction of our assumption. Okay. So you can see that by using a simple the method, that is mesh analysis, we have calculated the values of IN. Right. Now we will see our second step. The second step is determination of Z. Fine. So I will write down the second step. Determination of Zn. Determination of Z. That is Norton's equivalent. So when you have to find out that Norton's equivalent impedance, what we have to do? We have to use this circuit. Fine. You have to calculate, or it should be seen from terminal AB. Okay. And all these sources should be replaced by their internal resistance. So you can see that this 20 volt and 12 volt both are the voltage source. So you have to replace these both voltage source by short circuits. That is its equivalent impedance. Okay. So I will draw circuit for that like this. You will get this type of circuit. So this is the 12 volt replaced by short circuit. Then here we have a resistance whose value is 5 ohms. Whose value is 5 ohm. This is short circuit. Then here we have one more resistance whose value is 2 ohm. Then here we have a 8 ohm resistor, and then we have here one source of 12 volt. So that will be replaced by the short circuit. So this is your B terminal, this is your A terminal, this is short circuit, and this will be 8. Right? So you can see that by using this circuit, I have made these two short circuit, and you have to see the network from AB. So meaning is that you have to see from this terminal AB like this in this direction and calculate the value of calculate the value of Zn. Fine. So if you see from this terminal AB, you can see that these two, 5 and 2, both are come in a parallel. Okay, 5 and this 2 comes in parallel, and the resultant of these two will come in series with this. Like this, you can see that. I will draw the network. So this will be 8. Fine. This is your A terminal. This is your B. And if you see from this Zn, this value is 5 parallel with 2. 5 parallel with 2. So 5 parallel with 2 means 5 into 2 divided by 5 plus 2. So your answer is 10 by 7 ohms. Fine. Now if you again see from this, now you can see that this 8 and this 10 by 7 both are now coming series. So what is your final answer? Final answer of the Zn is 10 by 7 plus 8. Right? And if you find out that answer, 10 by 7 means this will be approximately 1.428. So your final answer is going to be 9.428 ohms. So this is the value of the Norton's equivalent impedance. So by simply calculating the value of the Zn means by deactivating all the energy sources and see from the terminal AB, you will get the values of Zn. So this is very simple. Fine. Now, after making the two steps, what will be our third step? Draw the Norton's equivalent network. Fine. Now see how to draw the Norton's equivalent network. Third step. Norton's equivalent network. Draw the Norton's equivalent network. So Norton's equivalent network is very simple. Means we have replaced this complete network. You can see that this complete network means 12 volt, 20 volt, 5, 2 and 8 by one current source in parallel with impedance. So that circuit will look like this. This is your A terminal. Your circuit will look like this. This is your B terminal. Fine. This is your impedance Zn. So this is your Norton's equivalent circuit, where this is representing the values of In and this is representing the value of Zn. We have calculated both the value. In is come out to be minus 0.667 ampere and your Zn is come out to be 9.428. Fine. So what we have done, the complete network is now replaced by this Norton's equivalent network. Fine. So this is our third step. Fine. Now what we will do in a fourth step, determine the load current IL by using formula. Okay, that formula we have to use. So for that, what we have removed this 10 ohm. We have removed the ZL and put a short circuit. Okay. So now add that 10 ohm in the circuit. Fine. So replace this with that load impedance ZL that we have removed and put a short circuit there. So this is your ZL, and what is the value of that ZL is 10 ohm because we have find out current to that ZL, and they have asked us to find out this current IL, and I have given you the formula. So what is the formula? IL is equal to IN multiplied by Zn upon Zn plus ZL. Right? So for this network, this is your total current IN. This total current is divided into two parts, and by using current division, you have get this formula. Now you have to just substitute the value and get the answer. So what is IL? 0.667 multiplied by Zn. The value of the Zn is come out to be 9.428. Fine. divided by 9.428 plus 10. Now simply solve this. I have solved this and answer is covered to be minus 0.323 ampere. Right? So by using this simple formula, that is current division rule, I have find out the answer of the current flowing through that load terminal. Right? This is my final answer. Right? So here I have finished with this question.